Open and just see if that works. Works here.
Hello,
Hello, can you hear us?
Salutations.
I can hear you. I have to turn you up a little bit, but I can hear you. I see you're in the new digs.
We are here. We're trying to get everything set up and working.
Well, you've obviously the Wi-Fi must be doing something.
Oh, the Wi-Fi is a little different. You got to authorize it and then authorize it a second time. But it does seem like it's working, so.
Okay.
Yeah. I need a longer HDMI cord. Probably need to bring a power strip if we're going to continue to do this one.
I've got a 20-foot each, 20-foot HDMI and
Well, my HDMI is stretched, but there's a little thing on the cart there that says do not use the TV without permission. So I don't know why
it wasn't even plugged in.
they must not want people
This is
different.
older than I would have expected. It's got 4 HDMI ports, lots of video ports component. VGA and RS-232.
RS2 on a TV.
Yeah, so you can remotely turn it on and off.
Neat. I wonder if it's one of those, I don't think LG made those. That's got a replaceable module so you can make it do other things.
Doesn't seem to, but I'm thinking it might be a plasma.
It might be.
Well, it looks like glass.
Hmm.
It looks like glass. It
Yeah.
probably very well could be.
Oh, yeah, I bet this is an industrial TV. I bet it is a plasma. And this, yep. This component right here. This will slide out and you slide another thing in.
Put a DVD player in.
They made all kinds of modules for it. So if you didn't need the HDMI, you could do other things. They're neat TVs. But it's definitely an industrial thing. So.
Looks like a nice facility.
It's you can't see Barry. He's kind of wiggle wobbling his head back and
It
forth.
ain't bad. It's better than Bethel Library, but I was brand new and it's small.
It's small. It's a small library. But it's not a bad library. I wouldn't call it a bad library.
I think it has great potential.
Yeah.
So this is a meeting room which is separate from the rest of the library.
Yeah, we're out in the lobby area of the library.
Oh, okay.
Right off, you come in the main entrance. You know how Midpoint has those big, that big, huge room right there in the lobby area,
Yeah, on the right-hand side.
on the right-hand side. This is a smaller room on the left-hand side, but it's right in the main entrance.
Okay.
You know, it's not a bad room. It's roughly, it's a little bit bigger than the room that we were in, but it's definitely set up different.
The storm shelter. How about the storm shelter?
Is that what this is?
That's what I would suspect.
I can see it.
So this is in case of tornadoes or what?
Probably not that strong a storm. Heavy rain.
Okay.
If it was a storm shelter, it is no longer a storm shelter.
I think it's still technically classed as storm shelter.
Supposedly 50 people can fit in. I don't see that being a comfortable fit.
I do. If you're gonna have a tornado, people aren't gonna care how packed it gets in here.
I still don't see it being a comfortable fit. It's not there's, you know, we used to play around with those large robots. This would be a perfect room for that. A lot of open area. Drive it around.
What are all the pictures on the wall?
Antiques.
Dead people.
It's history of Mason, probably.
Yep.
You
There's
know,
a neat one over on the far end of a parade in 1910 with a lot of cars.
this room is named after Parkville, Orwell Parkville.
I paid for a lot of the library. It's not all of it.
1910, yeah.
I saw the other day, I didn't know anything about. Dale Carnegie donated 90% of his fortune to build 2,800 libraries across the country. When he passed away.
So is this a Carnegie Library?
Oh, I have no idea.
There's a picture over there of a guy named Chesney. And then back behind Barry, there's Orville Parkhill, which the room is named after. So
Okay.
I would imagine that those people have some history with the library somewhere,
Or the town.
or the town.
Is it cold in there?
It's
I
cold.
noticed everybody is bundled up.
Welcome to Ohio. It's like 20 outside. It's freaking chilly.
It's partially snowing.
Yeah.
It's sort of kind of snowing.
It's definitely not raining.
I would say it's warmer in here than it is outside.
Well, okay.
I can almost feel my toes.
I imagine that whatever little bit of chill we're getting in here is probably because of the front doors.
Yeah.
I mean, there's heat in here. Yeah, I'm comfortable with my coat on.
It's not bad.
Or when I can feel my toes, I can probably shed the coat.
It could be worse. It could be a lot worse.
Well, the internet connection seems to be working okay.
Wow.
That's good.
I think that was part of the big question was how the internet worked more than,
Actually, they all have Zoom tabs, so. All fiber. Yeah, more.
I really want to do this thing.
it's. It's not bad. Of course, I'm not sitting in front of
What
it either.
time is it?
Yeah. Okay.
The high angle projector, you can't get that kind of focus in the corner.
That projector's close too.
That's what I'm saying.
They did a really good job getting that thing to work anyway. That's what surprises me.
Use the clock up there.
We got a projector. They would rather us use the projector and use the bulb
And
than
Plasma
use the TV.
it probably uses a third of the voltage. Or wattage.
But the
Go.
plasma would line it up.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
But then go to
What's
Walmart and buy a $300 TV. I mean,
If you donate the $300, they'd probably be happy to go get one.
it might be a crap TV, but
I ain't crap TV, that was probably a $2,000 one.
that is a good.
But as I say, if it's plasma, it looks like it's plasma. It probably eats 3 or 4 times the power that projector does.
If it's plasma, it'll keep the room warm.
That's what Rick is here.
Well,
He said,
and you can't really see it. I mean, there's the projector
well,
or
That's
the
the
screen, and then up there's the projector, really pretty close to the screen,
yeah,
Yep.
a little crazy close,
and
but it's working.
they've got a nice setup, even though we don't have the right cable. And there's the power button for the projector. And there's the switch for the screen. So
Fancy.
I wonder what this extra little switch does. Maybe that's lights.
So that's the drop-down screen that we're projecting on there?
There you go.
Yeah, we're projecting up onto the screen because they don't want us to use the TV.
Oh, TV.
I
I
don't
like
have
projectors.
I don't have a problem with not using the TV. It's just different.
So the screen is one of these that lowers from the ceiling?
Yep. It sure is.
Correct.
Okay, that's cool.
It's like I said, it's just different.
Like to have that in the house, to be honest.
Yeah, if I had that in the house, well, I had one, but my house is too small. I never thought about sticking the projector that close to the screen though.
Most of them, you can't go that close. I've got a small projector, pretty decent, but at that distance, it wouldn't be a quarter the size of that.
No, I don't think mine would have looked good. I tried to give mine away, I couldn't give it away.
Really, what's the resolution?
Oh, it's gone now.
Oh, somebody took it?
Yeah, Goodwill.
Ah,
My house, it needed to. I had it about halfway between the projector that I had or the screen that I had and the back wall. And it really needed to go further back, but I just didn't have the room to make that happen.
place to put it. What'd you find?
Aha!
Greetings.
The entrance to 75 at Middletown was blocked.
Nice.
Oh,
You had the fire truck and the,
I'm gonna go read some books.
okay,
Patty's out there somewhere,
Oh, okay, thanks.
so you might be able to find her.
Yeah.
something's going on 71 north or 75 northbound too at Galbraith. 3 lanes blocked. I'm telling people to go around Millwood Lateral.
Wow.
It is for a Panasonic phone.
no, I ordered I had the phone open, I'm looking at the number, and I put it in. And they had a 1-pack, so I said, no, I want a 3-pack. And so it switched over to completely different battery. And so I consequently ordered the wrong battery.
3 times.
No, one time with a package of food. They're brand new, never been used. And I didn't know whether anybody had a use for them.
What size are they?
2/3 AA times 3.
Well, there's another one at home, but I didn't have it.
In nickel metal hydride.
Is that what this is?
Uh-huh.
I can't understand. I don't have a nickel metal hydride charger anymore.
And I've got a universal charger, but I don't know if it'll understand those.
Well, they appear to be a nice battery.
Ever consider running Linux on that?
Huh?
Ever consider running Linux on that?
Steve could have.
I am ignorant when it comes to Linux. And no, stupid is impossible to fix. Ignorance can be fixed, but in my case, it's not worth the effort. So,
I keep getting little pop-ups that says
You guys are freezing up periodically.
I was gonna say, I keep getting pop-ups that say my internet connection is unstable, so.
That might be my fault.
What are you doing?
Updating
Oh,
55 packages. It's been a while.
I didn't update this thing last night. I usually update before the meeting, and I just didn't do it. I was messing with those robots.
I don't know that there was an update this week.
Oh, just general updates. I've got 5 general updates to do.
You're
And
not talking about a Zoom update.
no, I'm not talking about a Zoom update. I'm talking about just OS updates.
I love my library exploration.
There's a 1 for the I in the library.
Like L1 Bree. Oh.
Photos. Actually, there's some interesting photos on the wall. Like the 1896 fire department. Built for $1,200.
Having those 100-gallon tanks of water on 2 big wheels.
No, it's that little, looks like a lighthouse. There's a potato masher. It's torn down 1920s where the municipal building is now.
Exclamation point. you emailed me your script of getting into my USB drive on my router.
Okay,
When I put that in,
oh, it doesn't work when you're inside, probably.
no, well, I wasn't in the network. I went out on Wi-Fi in my house and looped back in. And I got a message that couldn't find it. Not connect-
Because routers are kind of weird. That's called a hairpin connection. And they tend to go, you're already inside. Why are you trying to connect to inside? And they drop it. Well, you needed to connect to 192.168 1.1 for, yeah, $0, sorry.
Well, but I don't want that. What I want to be able to do is get to it from this laptop when I'm away from home.
I understand that, but you can't do that from inside your own network.
Yeah, if you're in your own network, you've got to use the network's IP address, not the external IP address.
He's got a cloud player moving into it.
Oh, yeah, you could sell it feet.
I don't know whether I'm explaining this adequately. But I'm inside a Linksys that is going through the TP share. And I can get to the internet fine. I can go any place on the internet. And if I go with Google Chrome, in my search, I can find anything. But when I put this address in, Google Chrome says I can't find it.
Right. You're connected to this router, which is connected to this router. And you're telling it you want to talk to this drive. But you're giving it this IP address instead of this IP address. This is the external address. This is what people with IP addresses that don't start with 192.168 connect to. Even though you're connected to another router, you're still connected to this one to get to the internet.
Right.
To get to this thing that's inside of your network, you need to use the inside IP address.
Well,
When you're
nested,
outside, you need to use the outside IP address.
if he's nested, he's gonna have to have something to route that.
Well, I don't want to get into the router. I want to get into the USB that's that's.
Right, but that other router is gonna have to route the traffic to allow it.
Great internet speeds.
Okay.
'Cause
5.3.
that router's just gonna tunnel and it's only gonna allow it to go out.
Right. And
So they'll have to have a rule on there saying, hey, when I wanna go to this, go on that other subnet.
yeah, it's a T. It doesn't do things like that kind of thing.
Doesn't it?
I can get to, on the TP link, I can get to the router and administration of it and all the functions inside. I can also get to the USB by going down on the network and using my subsection that I set up. But what I can't get, well, first of all, I can't connect to this network here. It's telling me no.
You didn't connect to it?
No,
Can't run security.
Hmm?
Oh, sorry. I thought it said security, that we could have a connection, but it's only got 2 bars.
Yeah, I got a couple of ones. Yeah, you're connected, but you need to now open up a browser and agree to be nice.
okay.
And
It's
I had that.
interesting. My machine came up and said, you need to click OK.
Mine did not.
We had to pull it up off the screen.
Mine, I had to. I tried to get mine to say,
Until you
click on
open
this.
up their page and agree to their terms of services, that isn't gonna be.
Okay,
Just go to your new tab. Put in example.com.
That way you did. Put 198.18.2.1.
198.2.
Oh, it's really hard to read, isn't it? 198.18.2.1.
1.8.
198.2.1.
198.18.
Hate this damn touch keyboard.
2.
No. I had a woman tell me one time, what does it feel like to be a dyslexic perfectionist?
Click the little eye. Make
Yeah.
sure you can-
I didn't have a problem connecting. My problem was getting to that page. I didn't know what that page was.
Mine came up automatically when or Firefox started. Firefox is much better at seeing captive portals.
Yeah,
Does the eye not toggle that? You gotta hold down the little eyeball to see the.
Yeah, it doesn't toggle. You have to click and hold on it for it to show.
Welcome to 11.
Windows, gotta love it.
Oh,
I have it on my work laptop, but it's really just a terminal. With Teams, unfortunately.
I did bring robots to play with, but I don't know if we want to play with robots right now. I did actually get something sort of working.
Open up a notepad, type the password and tag it.
I don't have that.
Sure you do. Okay. You got it.
You gotta have notepad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was using wrong vernacular. I love my library.
Library is my library.
Okay, it's in the. Okay.
So. Oh, it's connected.
Oh, wow.
I got the joystick working. Kinda.
It's full, let's see what you got to get to the button.
Left turns work. Right turns do not.
That sounds pretty standard.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, right turn actually makes it go forward. I've come to the conclusion that this joystick really is not all that great.
So you get forward,
Forward, left,
left,
and reverse, yeah.
The website wants to open this application, Microsoft Edge. Now, I don't understand why I can't open that in Windows Explorer or within Chrome.
what are you trying to connect to?
Yeah, okay.
Because FTP is registered to, and you can register it to Chrome if you want.
What?
That was
Well,
interesting.
that was interesting.
Welcome back. Being around those,
What happened? I don't have a clue what happened.
I don't know, but Art's back.
Your internet cable is unstable.
Hmm.
You know, there's a lot of people in this little tiny library.
I know that by the fact that I had to park in the overflow lot.
I almost had to park in the overflow lot. I didn't even know there was an overflow lot.
I didn't know there was either, so I went to go to park on the street. And then there was a little plaque that says overflow parking here.
Oh, don't go off the plan.
Those judges need to be impeached.
What?
There's an article there talking about the citizenship thing that Trump shouldn't even had to have done that because it's on the books. But the lady came out explaining that the other day there. The guy that even wrote the 14th Amendment, whatever.
First native citizen.
What was that all about?
I have no idea, Art.
So
It keeps crashing.
US.
Keeps telling me that we're unstable.
14th Amendment came like in the 1840s or something. Wasn't it?
No, after the
So-
Civil War,
It crashed. I have no idea why.
yeah, and the explanations I understood it was slaves were never citizens, and after the Civil War, they intended to be recognized as citizens.
Yeah.
And that was the purpose of the equal protection laws. His interpretation, my mother's parents were not citizens at the time she was born. So she wouldn't have been a citizen. And since she wouldn't have been a citizen, I wouldn't be a citizen. Even though
Yeah, like me.
we've been here since 1903. Same way with my dad's ancestry. They came in from the potato famine in '49. And they weren't citizens when their children were born. So, depending on the interpretation, all the precedent, as I understand it, was that if you're born on American soil, you are, by definition, American. My friend was a pastor in Bolivia for the RLDS. And his daughter, because she was born to American citizenship, she was an American citizen, but because she was born in Bolivia, she's also a Bolivian citizen. So she has the ability to have a dual passport.
Oops.
Script there for a moment.
We got that with a lot of countries, especially with ambassadors, you they have that. That was their big beef about whoever was running for president too, because he was born in Canada or something, because his father was a Canadian ambassador that he wasn't eligible. I was like, well, no, there's actually a clause for that. In the presidential.
Well, and there's, and if you have diplomats, they're not under the control of the government, and so they would be exempt. And they're in sovereign territory. If you would. It's a screw deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I have, I believe, put in,
You think you've got it right?
I have put it in several times. I'm not using Chrome, I'm using Edge,
Okay.
FTP.
So that's FPT.
Dyslexic perfectionist.
Does Edge recognize FTP?
I don't know, we're gonna find out.
I mean, I know
Yeah.
Chrome does, so it should. But when he typed it into Chrome, it came back and said, you should be using Edge for this because Edge is the protocol handler.
Okay.
//
I don't know if everything I've got.
Go down.
I'll just do it up here.
Okay.
I don't know.
See?
I don't know. I haven't used FTP yet. I don't know how.
I don't use this very often, and when I do, I'm reminded of why I don't use it very often.
That's
I understand.
technology.
Bookmarks. It's the thing.
If you're cold, just go right
Stand in
there.
front of your.
Stand right in front of the,
That's probably where the heat I'm feeling.
it probably, yeah, that thing gets flipping hot.
This side of the face is getting my heat. I just assumed it was coming from up there.
You agree that that is the same.
When I do these meetings at the house, and I use the laptop.
64, 65,
I don't have to turn the.
246. You don't really need the colon 21.
Heats the room up
Okay.
really
I
nice.
would add a slash behind it, but go ahead.
Oh.
You can still be trying to connect.
We do seem to have a bit of a slow issue.
Internet access, it shows I'm connected.
Blank the bar out. You hit that space to go.
Are you certain that that's still your external IP address?
I did this just this morning. I confirmed it. I also have a different password. So you're concerns about. Feel free to slide that around the way it's more comfortable.
Fine.
Sorry, there's 3 meetings.
There are, there's a lot of extra stuff.
You're at a point you need to extend your skids a little more.
This all was a
That's weird that that
project
thing's
that I'm
out.
not even sure is a good idea. I don't really think these motors are suited to this.
They don't like going that slow.
No. No, I'm not so sure that.
Put a 15 or 20 to 1 gear ratio on them.
You know what Ray gave me? When I went to check all that memory out, he had 2 electric skateboards that
Oh, okay.
don't work.
Mhm.
And they've got BLDC drives. I mean, they're flipping awesome drives. But I have a feeling that they're going to go much faster than I want them to too. So I pulled one apart. One of them had a bad motor. I mean, it's shot.
Rusty or something.
It's not it's looks like dirt got in it. It
I'd go use like FileZilla or something.
uh
Or FTP client, if we're trying to do FTPs in the browser.
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't understand you.
I said I'd probably install like FileZilla or some kind of FTP client instead of trying to use a browser. They might have dropped support for FTP in the last few months
Yeah.
for security reasons.
Well, the whole purpose of this was to set up a drive that had, well, 34,000 photographs on it, you know, available to the people that are in the photographs.
Yeah,
And if it isn't going to be accessible through ordinary
browser.
browsers,
Yeah.
I can't travel around the country setting it up for it.
Well, I'll bring the FileZilla and give you access to it
yeah, but
too, but.
normal people don't.
Well,
do
but
that.
I'm just saying,
Normal people don't understand
if you're
FTP.
just wanting to make the pictures available, and you could just put it on the web page too. I mean, there's software in your
If you got a
Apache
spare
that'll
computer,
spin it all up as a.
it would be very, very easy to set up that spare computer with
host.
something that would let you share those.
Okay. Well, I've got 2 laptops and 3 desktops.
You leave one of them on 24 hours.
Yeah,
That would be the one. Set it up to share.
This might be seriously got this.
the address that they gave me did not have the S.
I know.
Okay, just as long as, you know.
It seems like that AT&T router. It seems like it has an external IP address that I can actually use and map to other things. It's AT&T, it's some number .AT&T.net or something. It's
Okay, yeah. It may just be the DNS name for it. I mean, technically speaking, they assign a name to every IP there.
yeah, it looked like when I typed it in, it looked like it got me to that router though, so. It's kind of like, well, I don't know if I want everybody to get to the router. That router's got like extra security on it too. It's really kind of funky. It'll show you general stuff. But if you want to make any kind of changes, it asks for a password and then it asks for a code that's on the router itself, and then it actually texts the AT&T app and says, "Was that you?"
Nice.
Yeah,
That is good.
it's not horrible.
Oh, that's a novel concept. I forgot about that. Here. I gotta.
So
What's going on here? They moved it into Explorer a while back. You know, I was already got the.
This is trying to be HTTP.
You
Is
can
a
put the
per-
FTP in.
I had at the beginning.
FTP :/control.
I think that'll let you.
You got anything going on, Art?
There you go.
Nope, just sitting here
Oh,
2 days.
Didn't have your username and password.
So
yeah. How did you do that?
Well, so, I don't know, about 2 years ago, they integrated that into Windows, well, actually, probably already than that.
That's been a long time.
Yeah, I would say they put FTP into Explorer. And they probably dropped it from the browsers, is what I'm guessing. Or security, there's so much security flaws in browsers, they're locking down all kinds of crap. I'm not kept up on any of it, but when we tried to do that through Edge, it said that was available through Explorer. Like, put it into your Explorer and it dropped you up on Drive G. So you got Drive G shared out for the internet. Hopefully it's read only.
Oh,
No, not at this point. It's
it
not.
died.
Yeah,
So
If it's still going forward.
Backward. That's
Oh,
backward.
okay.
No.
to get
coming
here, you actually, um,
And you can make a shortcut for that on your desktop.
well, I have Explorer here. Now, is that the avenue that you took or did you
Yeah.
take?
I use Explorer. Normally, people don't do that with Explorer, but it is a thing now.
I'm sure Explorer is still based on IE6.
Probably is.
So did you do the full FTP?
Yes,
I put in FTP in there.
thinking since you connected to it previously and put in the password, it stored it for you.
Oh,
So it may be in there as an admin.
I did not use this machine to get to it previously.
Okay.
To use a
Wow.
completely different machine.
Maybe.
Same account.
I was gonna say we could do it on your
Same
end,
Windows
if you
account.
got access to it, then I'd be really concerned.
It's not asking me for.
I don't think Brave has FTP yet. So.
It was asking me for the
I don't
TP
think so.
link.
Used to be a thing.
And then
Well, yeah,
when you
I mean,
sign into this
100 years
computer, it's probably signing into your Microsoft account on both. So that stuff could be shared.
Do you remember how when I did a login and read up, it comes up as Julie?
Okay.
The other machine was signed in with her.
Hmm.
if I can get into this, then that means you've got something misconfigured somewhere. Let's see, it doesn't even know what FTP is.
Oh, dude, I didn't know that they ripped that out of Google. I didn't use it too long ago.
Well, I think I can add it back in there. It's
Try it
a,
without the colon 21 and put a slash after it.
Okay. I'm good with it. Oh, that's what I get at home.
yeah, that's because
Right. Inside your house, it isn't going to work using the external address.
So there's,
That's like telling you the directions to your bathroom include driving to Florida.
okay. I never anticipated that the router would be looking at the addresses and
For everyone else on the planet, they can use that external address.
it should be,
but the router itself says no, you
it
can't.
should be able to
You
do here.
inside,
Oh,
you have to use the inside.
it'll work fine on that.
The
one.
192.168 is an inside address.
From an actual client,
Let's see what we
or
get here.
sort of client.
If, okay. Is that right?
I believe so, yeah.
And it's asking for a username and password. So that's
Well,
it.
and,
It thinks that I'm the user. So,
yeah, I was gonna say that's not your,
Okay, now,
but it works.
that's good. Well, I'm just, yeah. I figured it would, it's just a matter of whether you had free access to it or not.
No, I apparently do not have free access to it.
So this, through some mechanism, probably Windows. Eventually, some things.
Okay. Can you go back? How did you get to the message that said you wanted it needed a
Oh,
Okay.
I use the command line FTP from the command line, from the terminal.
Well,
So basically I used a client, like he suggested using
Now, one of the nice things with FileZilla, there's a portable app version of it. You can put it on a thumb drive with the credentials to connect and everything, and you just send that to somebody, they plug it in, double click on it, and there's a saved thing for your stuff. Here's what's gonna come back and bite you. Those numbers are going to change. I don't know when, but at some point they will change.
Okay.
And then you've got to do all of this over.
Now, if I go in and set them, can I set them permanently in the software for the function to run?
No,
Not
you
the
can't set
external.
them you can't make them stay the same.
not the external.
And they don't change often, generally speaking.
usually get power outage.
Every time the power goes out, or they need to reconfigure a router between you and whoever your ISP is.
It depends on your ISP though, because the system I'm on, the 5G,
Mhm.
that thing seems to change IP addresses every couple of days.
Oh,
I get a
Okay.
different IP address. It's a pain in
Well, yeah, AT&T is probably on a cellular,
it's on a cell.
so you're cycling through a random number whenever the thing is, it's
Yeah,
80
I'm
hours,
not,
100 hours. Yeah, I'm just saying it's.
I'm not complaining about it
That
cycling,
really is-
it's not stable, it's just. And because I get random IP addresses, I also end up in random locations when you do a Google
yeah,
location
my
search.
wire, that thing shows up in Chicago.
Yep.
Or St. Louis.
Yep.
And it bounces back and forth pretty frequently.
Yeah.
I have no idea why.
Yeah,
So I can offer this. Numbers are difficult for people, and trying to tell people numbers over the phone is even more difficult. I pay for a service called freight.org or net, I don't know. That is like it. DNS is the thing that takes numbers and assigns names to it. Google.com doesn't exist. Google has an address of 12.10.11.11 something. They register the name Google.com, and as their address changes, they point to it.
Mhm.
I own all of silly.org and plug.org and can give you a name at that if you want. So they can, instead of putting in numbers, they can put in jim.plug.org.
Okay. Well, at this point, I appreciate the offer and appreciate that there's another pathway. I'm not prepared to commit to that pathway
Okay.
yet.
Well, that would require that you keep something running inside the house also. It could be a Raspberry Pi, and a Raspberry Pi would be able to share out these pictures easily enough.
Now, I'm asking you simply because I do not know. This TP share router is linked to Alexis. Is that enough to consider to be kept running? Or does it have to attach to?
The only reason I would have two routers is if I've got the second one in AP mode, access point, where it isn't giving out its own sets of addresses and stuff. It's just a farther away wireless signal.
Well, for me, it's a matter of convenience. I have a cable line coming in to the cable modem that goes to the TP router. And then I am close to the chase that allows me to run hardwire upstairs into the first floor.
Mhm.
I am not close enough to all the appliances that I have associated with the basement computer, the fire recast box, the blue wave player.
Okay,
And so I use the Linksys as a switch, basically to allow me to connect up
okay,
all those devices.
okay.
So if this were to be attached to the Linksys, would it say, oh, I am connected to something? Or does it have to be?
The only issue with that, so I believe last week you said that the IP address on the Linksys, everything behind it was 192.168.1 dot something.
Yes,
That means it's still acting as a router.
okay,
So if you wanted to create a web page behind the Linksys would have to open ports and the TP link would have to open ports. And that's kind of a pain in the posterior. You can take the cable that you currently got plugged into the internet port of the Linksys
okay,
out. Reconfigure the Linksys as an access point and plug it into one of the switch ports. Now you've got 3 other ports that you can plug whatever you want into, and the Linksys and the TP link are both all on the same network. And now you have 2 wireless antennas separated by however much distance is the length of that cable.
okay.
That would work much better for you in the long run and be a lot easier to deal with if anything ever changes.
Now, I'm trying to remember, but I think out of the cable modem, I only have one port coming out of the back of that.
Right, and that goes to the TP link.
Yeah.
And then out of the TP link, you should have at least 4 ports.
Yeah,
You run one from that to one of the ports on the Linksys.
the input.
But if you set it up as an access point, it doesn't go to the internet port, it goes to one of the switch ports.
Okay, so I'd get into the software for the Linksys and change it to an access point there.
Yes. And most of the Linksys do that. That's pretty straightforward.
Okay,
That's just the mode that it comes in. They would have to have the same wireless name. That's the only caveat. If they have the same wireless name, if you walk from one to the other, at some point near the middle, your telephone, laptop, whatever, will just start talking to the other
To the
access
other,
point.
yeah, to the other antenna.
Mhm. Whereas the way you get it now, I don't think they can without changing IP addresses and possibly wreaking havoc.
Well, to compound issues, have a Ryobi garage door opener. And you may recall Jim had one of those also. It has its own IP address
Okay,
and communicates to the Linksys.
okay,
Every time the wind blows, a Ryobi garage door fails in one way or the other.
nice. I'll keep that in mind next time I'm looking for a garage door right here.
It's overly complicated. None of the things that you would associate with opening your garage door, like a wall button that says open, that isn't wired. That goes through.
Oh, that's
the link.
wireless too?
It
Nice.
goes to the Linksys and then goes back from the Linksys to the Ryobi door.
Yeah, it probably goes to ryobi.com and then do whatever, and then
Mhm.
comes back and says, open the garage door.
The
So
remotes
you
in
have
the
to
car.
replace the battery in that every year, 6 months?
uh, If I don't drown it first. It's a piece of shit. So I've got the back off of it and I have to hold the batteries physically in there in order to get it to operate.
Okay,
So,
2032?
no,
Right, the little
no,
white
they're,
cells?
they're big,
No, it's probably like a double A or something. Like
Hmm.
I
Something like
just bought
that.
some today. They are a non-alkaline. What are the high-priced, use-only
Lithium.
lithium? It is a lithium single-use battery, 2 of it.
Double A size?
Yes,
Okay. Yeah, that's, the lithium cells hold a charge longer.
yes.
And they apparently work over a wider temperature range than alkaline, which just messes with my brain. I think it would be the other way around. But I had to buy some of those for a freezer.
You know, they're like $2.50 a piece, so it's not something you wanna just go out and buy 20 of them because you might need them.
On a plus,
That's cool.
they have an amazing shelf
Oh,
life.
yeah, like 25 years.
And if you do buy 20 of them at a time, if you get them at Sam's Club, they're like $3 more for a pack of 20 of them than alkaline cells. They're not much more.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
I've got them in my flashlight.
Yeah,
I'd buy the charger, but
Yeah, well,
and I got a fleet of rechargeables too. So nickel metal hydride, I have a charger for them.
I really haven't seen nickel metal hydride batteries in a while.
you want to bring some in?
No, no, there's one sitting right there.
I'm just
This
saying,
is probably the first time I've seen one in,
Prius batteries, I've got
a
like
while.
20 of them left. You like one?
those are NMH. Really? Okay, that surprises me.
that sort of surprises me, but not as much as some of the other weird stuff
Yeah.
I've seen.
Okay. Well, let me come back to what's on the screen here. What am I doing wrong? I have gone to Explorer and I've typed in that address. And it appears to be acting as a word processor.
The thing is
That's not Explorer, that's Notepad, the word processor.
Ah,
the thing is you gotta look at the right thing. I would,
I feel like I'm kind of dull tonight.
I would, if I was trying to do something like this for other people in your family who may not be computer savvy, I would set this up as an HTTP server instead of an FTP server.
Yep.
I would set it up so that you have a script running. When you add new photos, it just automatically indexes those photos and makes a list or whatever.
Well, it would probably be the super easiest way to set up an iCloud. Or own cloud, whatever.
An own cloud, yeah, a
Mhm.
next cloud.
And then they can just log in to a user guide.
Yeah, that would probably be the best way to do
Uh,
that. And if you got an extra computer sitting there, it's super easy to do.
It actually, Nextcloud runs surprisingly well on a i5.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly good.
That everybody, I mean, if you just type, even if you give them the number and they type that in, that's HTTP. I mean, that's the default for every web
Okay.
browser ever It's actually HTTPS now, but that's the default for every one of them. So you don't have to tell them to type FTP:// blah, 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 and hit enter.
One of my primary users would be my sister and brother-in-law. He worked for the Department of Agriculture and ran all of the modems in every county in the United States. And he, for whatever reason, he is just paranoid about doing anything on the internet. He's hesitant to do email. Regardless, I sent him links to my OneDrive account, and he wouldn't log into it. So,
Well, no. It's not that he wouldn't log into it. It's that he didn't want to give his information to Microsoft.
To Microsoft.
And it was worse for him to give information to Microsoft than it was to look at your pictures.
well, that's what but I didn't see that he had to give any information to Microsoft, because if I gave him the link to the sheet files on OneDrive, if he clicks on that link, he goes directly into my account. He doesn't have to write up his own account or give any information at all. Yeah. I know that's not an excuse for my ignorance, but that's one of the things I've got to take into consideration.
Well, my thing would be even in his case, FTP it's an old protocol. If he knows anything at all, he's going to look at FTP and go, I don't know if I want to use that.
Yeah, that isn't secure either.
Yeah, FTP has been around since before the internet was a thing.
Now, this is my view. These are photographs of my family and ancestors and so on and so forth. Pets or whatever. Ain't nothing nobody cares for.
If you let it paranoid, I'd burn a disc and mail it to him.
If
You ain't gonna force him to do it. If he really wants to look at it, no.
I'm just thinking, in general, most people are not anywhere near computer savvy enough to know what FTP even means or does.
Right.
It's
file transfer protocol.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there's
Yeah, I mean,
4 of us in this room that know what it is. There's probably 5 of us on this video call that know what it is. But in the general
Well, then go out
population, if you
here.
go out there
I'd
and
be
ask,
impressed if you'd find 2 more.
if you go out there and ask, I doubt you find one person that knows what it is.
I said 2.
Okay, maybe. If there's an IT guy out there, you're gonna know, they're gonna know what it is.
Maybe.
Maybe,
They're over 40.
but in general, most people, I think you're right about the website. They start the browser up, they type in a name or a number, they're fine.
They don't even have to do that. I send them a link, they click on the link. and
Well, right,
they're there.
I just,
But I'm gonna say, I mean, I used to do that, the browser a lot on, like,
yeah,
one of those,
I think,
snapshots of all your pictures and you can sort, you can review through them if you.
I think you wanna make it as simple as possible.
So I'll just turn it into a web page.
Just
gallery.
simple, just as Nextcloud or OwnCloud or
Well, that's the other thing.
Snaps,
Something
what
like
is that?
I don't know how, I
There's-
mean,
There's one that's specifically for photos.
I was gonna say, isn't there like one where you can just. It has like a public facing thing, you wouldn't have to worry about the IP, because then as long as your master is logged in. Whoever connects to it should be able to get it.
Yeah,
automatically.
there's one that's
But it's
I
a
would have,
sharing,
I would have to look that up.
a sharing tool, so if he's that paranoid, we ain't gonna log into that either.
Nope.
I'd say
No,
that's on
if you're
them.
that paranoid about the internet, you're not gonna look at those pictures, no matter what you do for it. Okay, so I'm getting in there, do I need to include my port? Port 21 is the standard FTP port, isn't it?
But your browser doesn't do FTP.
I didn't put FTP in. I just put that address. And I'm not going through the browser, I'm going through Explorer.
That's the browser.
That's
Yeah.
browser.
Browsers, it's good. For you got a 40 guard thingy or whatever it is, those things.
Okay, so it's under the URL, it's put HTTP. It says the web page is blocked. Well, you were able to get around that. I don't know how you did it.
I am. PC Explorer. The first
Okay,
I saw.
that's exactly where I was.
Well, you're. Well, if you're on Google Chrome. Chrome.
Okay, it's switched over. Okay.
Close.
The internet seems to stable down.
Oh, I see.
You guys are still cutting in and out
Are we?
periodically. Yeah. The video freezes and the audio
You need the FTP.
disappears.
Interesting. I haven't noticed that you freeze, so, and I haven't seen any of the things that say the internet is unstable lately, so.
Have you tested the speed of the internet connection there?
It's not good.
It's not great.
Thank you.
No problem. And
Wish I could help you more. I really can't believe the browsers have logged that off.
I'm getting,
Surprised by it, but
it's not great. 2.7, 2.8, it's not done.
they're patching so
Three.
fast, I don't even read any of it anymore, so I wouldn't shock. me
3
if they
down.
disabled it. You might be able to go into settings somewhere and re-enable FTP, but
About 3 up.
Yeah, that's
I'm around speed.
marginal.
So can I show you next time?
Sure.
Okay,
It
this is.
it's not great. There's a bunch of people at this library too,
This
so
is connected.
who knows how many people were actually connected.
using it.
Well, just run Nmap and see how many hits you get.
Well, if they're smart, they've got this thing segmented, so.
Okay,
You can't nmap a Wi-Fi, even if you wanted to. You'd have to have a
piece of
promiscuous mode and
software
run
on here called
an
Nextcloud
attack.
Yeah,
that knows that.
that's probably why I never really see anything when I am.
Last picture I took was 3 days.
Wi-Fi
Mhm.
Bell,
Refresh.
you have to run a device in promiscuous mode to see all the other devices.
It's going through this phone.
I have a alpha
is-
for that.
Weird.
It's the best Wi-Fi device for
Apparently, Mr. Frankel.
very
Things
few
are
NIC
getting
cards in a laptop will let you do that out of the box.
So. Pictures. Settings go for camera.
I've got a
This is.
network
Get Onyx
Scan tool on my-
2011 on this.
on my phone.
I've been running Nextcloud since 2011.
We're talking that it won't work. There's thousands. There's a bunch of them.
Probably a lot of cross chatter and
They're all running a web server or a website. Almost all of these have
Here's the picture.
port 80 open.
You get this little share button.
Okay,
You can
whatever.
share a folder.
Omar's MacBook. Amnesia's MacBook,
You can share.
my Moto G. I showed up.
Editable, custom.
This is
digital,
Omar's
similar to-
iPad.
OneDrive. Mhm.
Omar doesn't need two devices connected.
You-
Here I am with two devices connected.
The nice thing about that too is.
There's,
not having to share it with Microsoft, so your relative might log into that because you'd be the one posting it.
I'm not seeing Steve's laptop or the other laptop, but I am seeing other people connected. So I think we're segmented and I'm on a different segment.
So you have multiple subnets there.
Yeah, I think so.
Run IF config.
Well, I did it on my phone, but
We were talking
Yeah.
last week about.
I think
Android
J
phone
period.
has really nice
period,
tools for that.
And we've seen people interpret that as J. That
You
little
can
app has saved me so much hassle and headache, and especially when I was actually doing computer networking a lot. That was, oh, it's not even showing up. Why isn't it showing up?
I found an SMC WAP in the floor. In Joyful. That was on a little Android tablet. Run a Wi-Fi detector and home in on it.
It looks like I'm on a standard subnet.
Yeah, usually they,
But-
especially if it's a modern day Wi-Fi.
That's a little different. Yeah, I think it's probably segmented, because
Well, they're-
I know that's an option, even in my cheap router that was an option.
I'm now connected to my phone, not this wireless,
Okay,
because it's faster.
it's faster. Well,
I should have been able to click on that link and have it just open. And it's
His-
going to,
his next cloud is really fast too. Usually,
yeah,
as long as we're not connected to a slow internet.
well, it's still quick. It's not, it's faulted, something
not-
else somewhere.
It's fast even connected to my moderately decent
Mhm.
speed. I mean, I downloaded that 2 gig file in 7 minutes, I think. Less than that probably. It was fast. And then my router freaked out and gave me a new IP address.
Burned up a threshold.
I hit whatever the hard limit was. That's really the only complaint I've got with. I think that's in general 5 gig, the 5 gig
Well,
service in
yeah,
general.
cellulars, they're doing that to mask you to help protect you for security reasons, because there is no security in it. It's a security by obscurity model. The encryption's too weak.
Yeah, but. I'd much rather, I personally would rather have a stable IP address, but that's
Yeah,
just
but
me.
I-
Because I understand stuff.
You need hardwire to do.
It's one of those, it's like what I was saying with him, right? They appeal to the greater population, not to the nerds who actually know something.
Well, they don't want people to have secure network. So they can spy on everything you do.
I-
Everything you do on that little box there, they know everything you
You can
do.
run on the
There's no way
Raspberry
to
Pi.
secure it.
AT&T doesn't know.
SSL.
That mobile might.
So that you've got valid
No,
certificates.
they use RS
Yeah.
56 or something for
Regular
that
domain.
encryption. That shit was cracked 30 years ago.
It is
I can
surprisingly easy
turn up a
to set
laptop
up.
and see everything you do on that phone.
The only issue I've ever had
Unless you're working on,
You know,
when something goes wrong,
you know how much it.
you have to resist the urge
I
of getting
don't understand.
to try to fix
No,
that.
I don't,
No, there's encryption.
I
Give
turned
a
it
few
on.
minutes. See if something changes.
When you make a phone call, it's encrypted, but like you said, it is pitiful.
And
Looks
we'll
like
go
a
ahead
bag.
and this sort of stuff. And
Welcome back.
bring some tests. Is that here's-
Yes,
here's-
okay,
here's-
when
here,
I make a phone call, yes.
knowing
But
But I'm saying, a
Then they can
Raspberry
say,
Pi can pop
type
that
this.
on its own in
I
30 seconds.
I don't care about
Is
encrypting
it
my files.
terribly buggy to have problems with that.
I'm just saying, anything's cheap,
Right.
file
It
transfer,
was very
copy off or talk to on a phone.
I've been running this
A real computer can,
more than 10
be in range
years,
with you in the tower, can listen on it.
and I've got
A real computer.
less than 2 hours
I'm
down.
sorry, you're just not a real computer.
That's fantastic.
I mean, it takes a tower to do it.
I am into my drive at home,
Okay,
and I would like to look at that picture.
should be able to just double click on it. Are you sure it's a picture?
Yes, I am.
Was it a chicken?
Nope, it was not a chicken.
What the hell?
It is,
Now go back to that,
okay,
go back to Explorer. Why would double clicking on that not copy it here and open?
Well, is that the picture down there?
No,
No,
that's MSN doing.
MSN, so.
take another picture.
Is it? I don't know. You know,
There's fine.
back in the day, FTP was awesome. I loved FTP, but it has become a pain.
I use WinSCP when I have to do that sort of thing from Windows.
I
I
use
think WinSCP does FTP as well.
I used what do I have installed? I have some legit FTP client installed on my machine. Because I needed to use FTP once,
Mhm.
and then that was it. Oh my.
Doing something wrong? Oh, that's based.
So are you doing something wrong there?
I think one of the things that irritates me the most about Windows 11 is right click still gives you a menu, but at the top, it's got 4 or 5 icons that you really need, but they don't say copy, paste, delete.
They're mystery
It's-
icons.
I hate icons that don't have a label under them so bad. It's like telling somebody that hasn't used a computer for a while, click on the hamburger icon.
If you'd associate JPEG with something.
And then they changed the hamburger icon, which was the 3 dots. Like,
Yeah.
now what do you call it?
Well, you know, a while ago, when Google changed to that material UI instead of
Mhm.
whatever it was, I hated
If
material
I might for
UI,
a second.
hated it with a passion. I have slowly gotten used to it, but
Okay. This is. Let's see what happens if we tell it to look at the folder that we
I don't,
accessed.
I haven't used Windows in, I don't really know how long.
I have to use it for work, but it's grudgingly. It really is.
I mean, I booted up a Windows machine maybe 6 months ago. And it had some software for one of the robots that doesn't work anywhere else. And I was
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, that's why I kept this machine. And I threw it back in, turned it off, threw it back on the shelf, and that's where it's been.
I
And I put a little label on it that said, it's got this software, that
keep for this stuff.
keep for this software.
When I was at LCS, I built my own Windows VM that let me work at LCS pretty gracefully. But it was just a VM. And anytime I was gonna do anything on it that might break it, I could just push the little button to make a backup of it and install software and go, oh crap, restore.
Right.
I couldn't run Windows on hardware at this point. It just hurts. But I will give, I am amazed at how well that piece of crap runs. This is my crap top.
Mm-hmm.
It just goes. It's a $30 computer, and if I break it, I won't even cry.
Right.
But that thing, that laptop that Siemens got me, that's a $3,000 laptop. It ought to run really well.
It ought.
It's a top of the line Dell i7 13th gen something or other. That thing will go a whole hour and a half on the battery, on a brand new battery.
Nice. No.
I really just need a connection. I don't know, that's a developer's laptop. That's for somebody that wants to do way more than I want a computer. It's kind of fun. But
Well, there was
Shouldn't JPEGs already be associated?
they are,
good.
but it isn't doing what one would expect.
Well, it's because it's pulling it from the internet, so it's wanting to use Edge. And it's Windows 11, and I'm trying to figure out how to reassociate JPEG to,
Normally, if you tell it to open with,
yeah,
you can tell it to associate that.
but there's no open with available. Because it's 11.
Well, it's because it's a website.
Well,
But it isn't.
Oh,
It's
it's a
in
file share
Explorer.
from Explorer.
oh, that doesn't make. Okay, that makes even less sense.
That's why I don't understand why it's not associating with the picture thing out of the box. It should automatically be popping open image viewer.
It's
Because
also interesting to me that even though it's connected to an FTP site, over on the left-hand side, it says this piece. It doesn't say network connection.
Yeah,
Well, that's why I just tried to hard map that as a drive letter, and it won't let you do that either.
Look, that used to work.
now,
Yes, it did.
when I'm at home on my laptop, this drive does show up under the network, under G, just like it shows up as G here, but I don't see it in anywhere. So normally we would say open with.
If you copy it and bring it down locally, it gives you that option, but you gotta bring it down locally. That's what I'm saying, it'd be a lot nicer if in the either web page or something, because in the web page you could have oh, let's say not bookmark or what do they call those? Thumbnails. of all the pictures from our webpage. If we can access it through a web browser.
Okay. I just told this to connect anonymously.
Okay,
This is not the laptop I had last, I have two of these, they're identical, except one's mint and one is rocky. Sorry. I can see your images. If you want to see something cool on mine, if I double click on it, I'll bet it opens.
This works.
It doesn't. I'll be damned.
you know, from the Google, whereas this one is opening up that edge. Look,
Open with
open with- and see, we're not getting that over here.
your windows. Oh, didn't want to see that. Okay, this should not be shared on the public internet.
Well, none of this will be where I get to where I can get out of first gear without breaking something.
Guarantee if somebody's already downloaded all this.
You really should turn this off. And
Until you get it working. Check out, Pixel Fit, pick, speak, words, Pixel Fed, Pixel Fed.
as a
It's all,
website,
it's all one word. You probably have to Google it. I don't know what the website actually is. PIXELFED.
decentralized social media.
That's
I
the,
just threw up a little bit.
yeah, that's the picture sharing thing that I've seen a lot. If you just want a dead simple picture sharing thing. All right.
Yeah,
It's like 15 minutes till, so do we like this place? Do we
Not terribly impressed with their
with the Wi-Fi situation?
Wi-Fi, yeah. I'd really like to plug a cable into a wall somewhere and see.
I don't see any
Hold on.
Wi-Fi or I don't see anywhere to plug a,
Probably not gonna see one in this room, all the concrete.
I like the building,
What's that?
don't like the network access. That is surprisingly bad. I mean, that is amazingly bad.
and it's,
What do you think, Art? Can you see us
oh yeah,
sometimes?
You mean,
I can see you periodically, you freeze, but it's not very often. Generally speaking, place seems okay to me. The Wi-Fi or the network connection is not as good as it is at midpoint.
no.
That's just a fact.
And if I believe what my phone is telling me, it's provided by the same Ohio link, library link or whatever they
yeah,
call
I would
that.
expect it to be.
So,
I don't know. It's certainly got the physical layout seems to be okay. You got a nice big table there
yeah,
you can run robots on.
Big floor.
and a decent sized room.
We could bring them bigger robots.
I-
R2D2.
We could bring the bigger robot. I mean, I've got bigger robots. We could do it.
I think the fundamental question would be when midpoint's not available to us, is this better, worse, or the same as a total virtual meeting?
Well, I mean, as far as virtual meetings go, my internet's moderately decent fast. Everybody else's internet is moderately decent fast. or better.
Okay, you've got it shared, read right. Seriously, if you can log into your house and turn that off, do. Sorry.
So, I mean, if the question is it better than virtual? I would have to, if the criteria is internet speed, I'd have to say, no, it's not better. But if it's
But
meeting everybody in person, which is always fun to do, then yes, it's probably better.
well, and also running robots and so forth and so on, doing physical stuff, it's better than obviously than a virtual meeting.
Yeah,
But certainly the virtual meeting is better. I think we all have faster internet at home than you've got here.
yeah.
So
Well, and the real, my question is with the internet, that's better.
That's my phone.
That's your phone.
It's only 20 times.
It's only better.
Yeah. 4 times faster.
5 times faster.
I can give you the connection to that. I mean, as long as I'm here, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, my real question would be, I mean, we're obviously here one day this month. Is it like that? Is it like that next week or next? The next Thursday we would meet, would there be 1,000 people in here using the internet?
My mom's right down the road. I'll come back later and check speed and stuff and see if things change.
Yeah, I mean, that would be my question, is the speed dependent upon how many people are here, or is it dependent on them being, this library, the last time I was here, the parking lot was full, this library is small. It seems like it's full of people,
There's a lot of people here.
there's a lot of people here.
Definitely more people here than most libraries.
So. I don't know, I could put in a request for next month.
Do they not like using the big room at Westchester?
So the deal with,
Or they charge for that or something?
no, the big room.
Yeah.
The,
Across the hall by the bathroom.
Like the conference room.
okay, usually they reserve that for larger groups. And it's usually booked up, there's usually,
Well, I've never seen it,
there's-
only
there's-
seen it used like 2 or 3 times.
there's school things
I
that
know
need
they
in
put all the
there.
kids in there and stuff,
Yeah,
but I know when that room wasn't available, when we had Mike's crazy thing, we were in there a time or 2.
yeah.
But I thought it was availability of that little room. There's other, Rooms
The
that are
last time I
small.
talked to them about that big room was they weren't opposed to it, but they wanted to reserve it for bigger groups.
you know, I understand that, I'm
I
just,
mean, it's a huge space,
they need another room that's about the size of the got
yeah,
instead of all those little bitty rooms.
the problem with Westchester is, like I said, it's just getting increasingly hard.
A lot of people are using it.
Yeah, it's getting increasingly hard to get that room in a timely manner. I mean, you show up on the website 2 minutes late and the room's booked.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had to wiggle my meetings around a lot because one library's
Right.
more, yeah.
And if I believe the librarian here, when I talked to her a couple of months ago, this room doesn't get used much.
Yeah.
So that's a bonus. I mean,
It looks to me like Achilles' heel here is internet speed.
it's the speed here.
And if this is the best they can do, there are gonna be times where
It's
It's
the
not
best
gonna
isn't
be-
good enough.
It's not gonna be good enough. And there's nothing we can do to change that.
Well, except connect to his phone.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can, so a thing I can do, gladly, I can, I'll give everybody log in on that, that's no problem. It's a work phone that does absolutely nothing.
I think we've used it once before.
Okay,
Well, so we all see with hotspots for the meetings, you know, I wasn't worried about. But they told us, please use the
Well,
library.
it's just a. You know, my initial opinion is maybe we ought to give it another chance with,
Yeah. Yeah, I think making a decision based on one data point is probably not prudent.
that's kind of what I'm thinking. So. I think, you know, when we shut down, I'll go and talk to her. See if the lady that actually books the room is here and can book the room. And if not, if
Yeah,
she's not
and-
here, I can book it online.
They may be aware of a problem with the internet that is ongoing or that they're attempting to fix.
Like, if you remember right, when we, of course, this was a while ago, but when we first started going to Westchester, internet was a huge problem. I mean,
Yeah,
it
yeah. Yeah, the current Westchester internet connection is much better than it was a couple of years ago.
yes, by far. And yet it still kind of sometimes has some issues, so.
I can't recall specifically how long I've been coming to these meetings. I can recall the first meeting I came to. And but it seems to me like that was 4 or 5 years ago. And so we're talking about a period of time before that even.
Yeah, it probably.
You're talking about West Point's
West-
Wi-Fi?
Midpoint,
Yeah,
And-
Westchester,
they
not West
had
Point.
internet issues for a while. For a while, they had actual jacks you could plug in, and that was the way to do it because.
Yeah.
I just was horrible.
yeah, I remember you bringing that router in.
Yeah. And they're, because their Wi-Fi was just horrible. You know, the other problem. I don't see a Wi-Fi router in this room.
Yeah.
What is that on the ceiling?
No,
That might
that's a
be-
router.
That's a router.
So what,
You know what? Unplug that cable.
have real speed.
That is a router.
I am curious if,
What brand is it?
Couldn't tell you.
the white box,
Yeah, it's a white box. It doesn't say.
Big box, too, it's probably old.
Is it? It's.
I kind of wondered if you're on G or something.
the logo on it looks kind of like an E. But I
It's
don't
gotta be getting
recognize it.
power over Ethernet, so.
Yeah, and that's AP2.
APP.
There's only 3 of them. I went too far.
Wait,
So
point
no
the batteries?
takers on the batteries, nobody wants them?
You keep your batteries. You keep your batteries.
Right, I don't.
All right.
I am really curious. What this one change like this.
I think Art, it's like T-Till. I think I'm gonna shut down and pack up all this stuff. And just watch the emails.
Yeah.
It'd be virtual next week anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay,
All
just
right,
keep us posted by emails, and that's great.
all right. sounds good. We'll see you later.
Take care.
Bye.
Have
Good night.
have a good week.